Hey, what's going on, Guardians? TBL here from Planet Destiny, and that's right, it's finally time. The premier PvP mode of Destiny 2, Trials of the Nine, has finally gone live, and in this video we're going to be giving you a very quick look at what you need to do in order to get access to this game mode, some of the rewards you'll be able to get from this game mode, and maybe even a little quick peek at a social space or two. First things first, it's going to cycle out between survival and countdown week by week on different maps. This week it's taking place on Eternity and the game mode is going to be countdown. And the rewards you get from this are pretty darn good. But before we get into that, there are a few things you have to do in order to gain access to this game mode. In order to access Trials, you'll need to have already completed the overall story campaign and completed Lord Shax's Call to Arms Crucible milestone at least once. You'll also need to be at minimum 260 or more power. There was actually a little bit of confusion as to how to unlock the Trials mode because a lot of people hadn't done the Call to Arms milestone last week and were subsequently locked out of Trials this week. So if you haven't done it, you will need to go talk to Shax, start off that questline, compete in those Crucible matches both in competitive and in quick play, and when you finished it, along with all of these other requirements, you'll finally have access to the Trials of the Nine. Now in Trials, your loadout's going to be locked once you begin the match, meaning you won't be able to change your gear mid-match. This is something we had heard about plenty of times before Destiny 2 came out, and this locked loadout thing is going to really make it so that you have to coordinate your team build. The map you'll be playing on is of course Eternity, and it's got a lot of sniper sightlines, so you're going to want to keep that in mind as you're building up your team comp. You will of course, however, be able to change your loadout once you return to orbit in between matches. Now, something interesting to note, even though you need to be at least power level 260 in order to access Trials, level advantages are disabled. So it doesn't matter if you're going up against someone who's 300 light or somebody who's 265. All that matters is that you be at least 260 to gain access to this game mode. Now let's talk a bit about the rewards. After each match you have a chance to get a legendary, and once you complete your card, which you automatically get now, you no longer have to go and buy a card from any NPC, nor do you have to buy any boons. It all comes just standard with Trials now. You'll be able to visit the 5 emissaries in the 3rd Spire social space and get legendary gear and shaders through Trials engrams. That's right, the new social space is called the 3rd Spire and it'll unlock after you get your first Trials win. You'll also have the opportunity to turn in the Trials of the Nine tokens that you receive after each match, increasing your reputation with the Nine and earning you loot after leveling up. So just like with several other sections of the game, Trials will have its own faction that you can level up by simply playing matches in the Trials of the Nine game mode.
Welcome. You think you found this place. It wants to be found. There are many like me, and so this place serves myriad purpose. One is judgment, in all its connotation, the weight of it as a weapon. Another is death, inevitable, relentless. A third is perfection, flawless destruction. 3 keys to unlock irrevocable change. Welcome, Guardian, to the place where everything dies and begins anew.
And in Trials, you'll generally get rewards on your 3rd, 5th, and 7th overall wins, with an additional reward for those teams that happen to go flawless, getting a full 7-0 card. The 3rd Spire will have an area that you can gain access to if you manage to get 7 wins and 0 losses. And reaching that flawless zone will grant you armor, a flawless emblem, and an aura that you can equip that will look kind of similar to the Prestige Nightfall aura. Now, let's talk a bit about some of the loot. Each of the Trial-specific weapons will feature a unique perk, where sliding will partially reload the magazine and temporarily boost your handling and stability, which is pretty interesting. It comes in a different variety on all of the Trials legendaries that we've seen thus far. As for the weapon names, we've got the Judgment Hand Cannon, the Relentless Pulse Rifle, the End Scout Rifle, the shotgun is called a Sudden Death, the Long Walk Sniper Rifle, a Swift Verdict for the sidearm, and finally the submachine gun is the Adjudicator. Making up overall a pretty awesome looking set of weapons. Can't wait to get my hands on it. But alright Guardians, that's it for your very quick Trials of the Nine guide. I gotta get back out there so I can go flawless and meet that massive, kind of spooky Trials emissary. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.